Well, good morning, Bucks Island social media fans. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, May the 22nd, presented by Mercury. We're going to head on up to Lake Guntersville with our good friend Tom Ott. We've connected with Tracy Robinson for Weiss Lake and Neely Henry. And of course, we've got Josh Herron here talking about Logan Martin and Lay Lake. And it seems like our lakes are in a really interesting state. Not any one thing is kind of going on right now. It's everything going on at once. So these guys will share as much as they can and tell us what's going on and help you catch a few more fish. So hold on 1 minute and we'll be right back. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, May the 22nd, presented by Mercury. Hey, we're going to head on down with our good friend Josh Herron. Josh, down there at Reaction Innovations corporate headquarters. Tell us what's going on with Logan Martin and Lay Lake this week.
Man, Lay Lake was really tough on me this weekend. Had a few issues. Started off the day good. I think still the whole main thing in catching a good fish right now is going to be kind of geared around either a bluegill spawn or a shad spawn. Seems to be the great divide. Either or, but you need to start your day on one of the two because after that it's getting pretty slow.
It seems like right now the lakes may be a little bit behind schedule. The storms have kind of pushed the spawn a little bit. Maybe some fish have gone, some haven't. Usually we don't see shad spawn and bluegill spawn colliding, but is that something that you're kind of seeing?
Dude, it's not just shad spawn and bluegill spawn colliding. We've got a shad spawn, a bluegill spawn. We've got fry garters. There's still fish on the bed, and there was mayflies this weekend. So it
sounds like to me like mayflies. Mayflies, we want to start throwing a topwater bait around a little bit.
That's going to be the gig. A spook, a vixen, a popping frog, a splash it, a pop R. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It either needs to look like a shad or look like a bluegill, and you need to be covering some ground looking for birds at daylight.
So if you were going to run a program at both lakes, would you run looking shad spawn early, then maybe go to a swim jig or something, and then if you see the mayflies, throw a topwater bait around a little?
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm going to be 100% focused on shad spawn. That's the furthest thing along right now, so I figure that's going to be what fish are more geared towards. But I mean, the other two definitely could play a factor in anything this weekend.
So it sounds like it's time to get on the water really early. Look for them shad flickering up against seawalls and grass edges, maybe some tree stumps and some bluff walls, those kinds of things, floating docks. But go early and then target some shallow water stuff later.
Exactly. And right now it's going to be a good time. You got a lot of people that start. It's that season where you're getting a lot of boat traffic. So your morning hours are pretty much your calm and sane hours too. So it's a good time to get on the water early.
Well, as always, Josh, man, we appreciate everything, and we will talk to you again next week.
Thanks, sir.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, May the 22nd, presented by Mercury. We're going to head on out here to our home lake, Neely Henry, where the Elite Series pounded the lake. We're also going to talk a little bit of Weiss Lake with our pro staffer and good friend, Tracy Robinson. Tracy, why don't you tell me a little bit about what's going on Weiss Lake to start with?
All right. Past week, I've spent a lot of time on both lakes there, and both of them are a little bit similar right now, but it's almost 3 lakes between the two. Weiss right now, had the big floods, and it's just now got back to summer pool. But like on many of the other lakes, everything's way behind. The water temperature's in that 65 to 68 degree range. When we had the little warming spell back before the floods, I know some group of fish spawned at Weiss because I'm seeing a lot of fry out there that are probably 3 weeks to a month old. And at the same time, on the same banks, you can see fish that are just now coming up and locked on beds. So there's a lot going on right now at Weiss with a variety of stages of the fish. Some of those fish, couple of different species there. The spots, we're catching some of those actually out deep right now too. So you've got fish from already out deep, completely spawned out, some that are garden fry and some that are spawning. So there's a lot of options on baits right now with your top water. Obviously a good choice. Your popping frogs working good, the spooks. And at the same time, there is some shad spawn going on as well. So that shad spawn's been pretty key for a lot of the anglers. Over the past few days. We had a big tournament there this past weekend, 225 boats in the AVT. Only took 18 pounds to win. We had around 15 pounds, finished in the top 10, but those weights are really low for Weiss this time of year.
Well, we saw Neely Henry, the main current breaks with swim jigs and some square bills and spinner baits and stuff like that on the edges of grass. But as that current slows down, what are they going to want to look for?
Right now, Neely's similar. There's different stages of spawn going on right now too. On the upper end, looking for just those laydowns. The currents slow down enough to where those upper river fish can get on those laydowns now and not get washed away. So, your plastics, your Senkos, your tubes, jigs, that kind of baits on those laydowns up the lake. And then down the lake, those fish have migrated, for the most part, out of those pockets and are at least trying to get into some of that main river grass, main river wood, main river points, currents, eddies type situations. So spinner baits, chatter baits, swim jigs, your typical baits for throwing around just trash and cover.
Well, Tracy, as always, man, we appreciate it. We appreciate your expertise and your partnership, and we will talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 22nd, presented by Mercury. Hey, we had the Elite Series on Neely Henry last week. They have turned their attention to Lake Guntersville, and I know they're running all over Tom Ott's favorite spots up there, and St. Jennifer might be getting a little bit mad, but that's all right. I think he's going to let them have the lake for a little bit. Tom, what can those guys expect for this weekend, and what have you been seeing on the lake?
Well, I tell you, Dano, what a tale of a couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, the fish were really starting to, at least in my mind, making a move. And then last weekend and throughout the week, we've seen very little water flow. We've seen fish just moving very little as far as out to the ledges. I mean, I think some of the other guys alluded to the fact that it's on bad. We've got a brim spawn going on, definitely a shad spawn early. They're just everywhere. I think these the elites are going to have their hands full trying to figure that out. Just from fishing shallow to going deep. I think you can catch fish right now from a foot deep out to 25 foot deep. The problem with the deeper schools right now is just the fact that we've got very little current. We haven't had that real we're starting to get now, and that's going to help. But it just seems like they're really not positioned the way they should at this point of the year. So, it is a tough fishery. They can be caught, but you're gonna have to move around. I think the guys that are gonna fare the best are the guys that can put a little deep with a little shallow together and some mid-depth kind of stuff.
Yeah, it seems like they're having to move around a little bit. I was up there Tuesday doing some camera boat work for being a camera boat hosting and one of the photographers, and I seemed to find them kind of just a little bit about everywhere, but never found a bunch of them out there on the ledges. So I do think that you're right. We're kind of all over the place. We just kind of need to see what the fish are doing. Seems like docks are a good thing right now too.
We had a large tournament last weekend. Was one with 18 pounds, big fish in the 6 pound range. Really not Guntersville standard. So, definitely sums up. It'll return. It's definitely a weather kind of situational deal that's going on right now.
Well, Tom, as always, we appreciate everything, and we will talk to you soon.
I appreciate it, Dano. Y'all be good. Be safe out there.
You too. Thanks. Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 22nd, presented by Mercury. Guys, we appreciate everything as always. Your insights and your expertise and your experience on the water really helps a lot of our fans and our followers catch a lot of fish. That's what it's all about, is helping people. Don't forget, everybody, if you need anything on your boat service-wise or you're looking for a new boat, come on over to Bucks Island. But as always, the loft right here at Bucks Island will have everything you need to be able to go catch a few fish on your body of water. And don't forget to like and subscribe to all of our social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Catch those things when they go live, and that way you'll be notified whenever anything comes up to help you put a few more fish in your boat. Well, thanks for spending some time with us today, and we will talk to you again next week.